Well, I'm excited to bring up our next panelist. Raise your hand if you've heard of OnlyFans. Keep your hand up if you have spent money on OnlyFans. Oh, really? If you say so. All right. Well, with that, let's bring them up. What do you think? Please welcome to the stage Chief Strategy and Operations Officer at OnlyFans, Keily, Blair, CEO, Amy Gann, and your moderator, Amanda Silberling. Warm welcome.
I don't know if you guys can see from out there, but Keely's shoes have green lights in them. So you're really repping TechCrunch.
They're on brand.
Yeah, we are
obviously deliberate.
Yes, we are so on brand. And now let's move to you repping OnlyFans, the company that you are executives at. So OnlyFans is doing amazing. You made $932 million last year, more than double what you made the year before. And OnlyFans has paid out $8 billion to creators since 2016. And that's amazing. $8 billion is a huge number. But then last year, there was a little bit of a snafu where OnlyFans temporarily said that it was going to ban sexually explicit content. And for adult creators on the platform, that really sent them into a tailspin of, can we pay our rent next month? What's going on? It seems that OnlyFans figured that out. You said that you came to an agreement with payment processors. But I just wanted to ask from your perspective, what happened?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, I want to say thank you for having us here.
Yeah, and thank you for Keely's shoes.
Yes. It's great to be able to speak with you in the audience and really talk about the business. And before I get to your question, I saw everyone's hands go up where, yes, you've heard of OnlyFans. You probably have an idea of who we are, what the business is, but I kind of want to go into what our company is and our business model before jumping into everything, where I saw a lot of hands go up. Thank you for those who already are on the platform as fans or creators. So OnlyFans was started in 2016, and we really were meant to be a platform for all content creators to be able to monetize content that you're normally sharing for free on the other platforms that are out there. Due to our liberal content policies, we kind of went off in one direction, meaning very popular among our adult creator community. And that's amazing. And I'm very proud to represent our adult creators, as well as we're home to chefs, comedians, race car drivers. And we'll get more into those later on. But with that, we've continued on this exponential growth period, especially during 2020. And we're so proud to be this inclusive platform. And for every dollar that we earn, creators earn $4. Referencing the stats that you rattled off, they're all very exciting and impressive, but what matters is that creators are able to have a safe place to share their content, monetize it in a way they just can't elsewhere. And that's where we really have been a disruptor in the creator economy and something that I'm extremely proud to represent. And looking at where we were when that proposed AUP change happened, it's something that I took that as a major, major learning experience. It was a proposed change. Yes, we did end up rolling it back about a week later. At that point, I was CMO of the business, so I was very much there on the front lines. And most importantly, I was connecting with our creators. I heard from them. I heard every single thing that came in. And it was extremely powerful to, hear their feedback. And that uproar is what, allowed us to be able to be the safest and most inclusive platform. Our creator community was heard, and that's why to this day I make it a very strong point to be proud to represent adult content creators, as well as all the other creators who have been able to make OnlyFans their home and have a safe place to express themselves. That's something that's just not happening elsewhere on the internet, and that's again why we are a disruptor of the creator economy and why we're here today.
Yeah, and I think it's so important that OnlyFans does have that space for adult creators, because if you look at a competitor like Patreon, where they don't allow you to monetize certain kinds of sexually explicit content, and as I said in the intro, OnlyFans is making so much money. You guys told me before that you are making even more money this year than last year, whereas I feel like as a journalist, I've just been writing about layoffs all year, and it's super depressing, and Patreon just had layoffs, but OnlyFans is doing it and you're making money. And I think part of that is because you do have a space for every kind of creator to monetize. Yeah. And then I know, Keely, you work on the safety side of things, and I know part of why OnlyFans is able to host adult content, whereas competitors can't, is because you've built such robust checks for making sure people are 18, they're consenting. So what's that approach like?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really interesting when we talk about OnlyFans as a platform, because as we all were talking about the fact that people associate OnlyFans with adult content, and we're very proud to be a home for adult content creators. But you're right, safety is what's fundamental to allowing us to do that. We actually see a lot of other platforms do host adult content, but they're not open and honest about it, and that means that they don't have in place some of the safety measures that we do. So to become a creator on our platform, you can't just do it overnight. It's pretty hard to do. It's a 10-step process in the US, 9 in other jurisdictions, but we ask you for your full name, your date of birth, your address, your financial information, your social security number. You go through a biometric selfie identifier. You provide us with your government ID. And what that means is that we know who's on our platform. We know the content that they're creating and sharing. And if there's any bad actors on our platform, we're able to take action against those people. That takes away some of the anonymity and toxicity that we see on other platforms. And it really creates that safe space for content creators across all genres, absolutely adult content. But we hear from our content creators all the time, right, Amy, about the difference of the experience of being on OnlyFans and like opening your direct messages on the platform. It's like talking to your fan base rather than like some of the hate that you have to deal with on other places in the internet.
Exactly. The biggest feedback we get from our creator community is that they're like, oh, everyone's so nice and so welcoming and supportive. It's like, well, yeah, why wouldn't they be? These are your biggest fans who've taken that extra effort to subscribe to you. Someone's not going to do that and then send you a mean message. They're there because they want to connect with you and they want to have access to your content and that real emotional connection you get with a creator that you just can't get elsewhere. Think of all the times, someone gets a DM on any other platform. It's probably lost in spam and bots and things like that, whereas on OnlyFans, it's only real people who are interacting as long as they are over 18.
Mm-hmm. And to go back to the question about what happened with the credit card processing, so is the reason why you were able to keep accepting payments from MasterCard and Visa because you are doing those age checks to make sure people are 18, they're consenting, et cetera?
Absolutely. I mean, so we've always been very aware of the MasterCard and Visa guidelines, and we are very transparent with our stakeholder community. So one of the things that we've done in the past year is we've launched a Safety and Transparency Center. That's outside the paywall, so you don't have to log into the platform to access it, and that means that third parties can access information about how we verify creator ID, what we do to tackle CSAM, how we deal with age and identity verification, what we do on content moderation, and being able to be out there in the world and saying, hey, we do things differently for lots of reasons. Our business is designed differently from lots of other social media platforms. Like, we don't monetize people's data. We don't sell third-party ads. The revenue that we make is related to subscriptions and payments to creators. And so every business decision that we make is creator first. It's so different when that's your North Star in terms of how you run a platform and how you run a business. And so putting our creator safety at the heart of everything, and then being transparent with those stakeholders and helping to reassure them and take them on that journey and help them understand that actually we apply this incredibly high bar, safety-wise, to all of the content on our platform. Like, everything gets reviewed by a human, every single piece of content. And that's insane. And the internet would be a heck of a lot better if that was the case on every other platform too.
Yeah, and then just to like wrap up this line of questioning, so then if you have like these safety measures in place, then what was the decision making, like when OnlyFans chose to make this declaration that sexually explicit content would no longer be on the platform? Like, what was the goal there? Like, was it just a matter of not knowing if you were able to keep the safety measures in place, or like apply them to the fullest extent? Or I'm just curious, like a little more about like why that happened.
I think it's important to remember that that's over a year ago now.
Yes.
So everything moves on and evolves, right? We'd be, in terms of safety measures, if we ever sit still, we're not doing enough. We have to keep pushing, we have to keep evolving, and we have to keep adding things that we do to keep our community safe. But also it's about, us as an executive team being out there and talking to stakeholders.
And that's where we learned from our community during that period. And now we're in positions to be able to address adult content creators, to be able to really show the amount and work that we're doing in safety. We truly have industry-leading safety measures and controls that you just don't see elsewhere. And that's because we care about our community, and that is what allows us to be the most inclusive platform.
For sure. And I spoke with some adult creators that use OnlyFans. They pay their rent with their OnlyFans payouts, which also, I think there were some statistics, something like 1,000 creators have made over $1 million on OnlyFans. Is that right?
It's actually more than that now.
Okay, wow. See, it's like this, yeah, it's even more than that now. But I spoke with some adult creators that use OnlyFans, and I think even though, as you said, it was a year ago, I think people are still a little skittish because for adult creators online, like, the name of the game is that you're on a platform, suddenly that platform pivots, you lose your following, you have to build another following elsewhere, and that can make life really precarious for these people. So I wanted to ask you if you're able to make a commitment that adult content will continue to be able to be hosted on OnlyFans.
We've pretty much already made that commitment.
Awesome.
Yeah, a number of times, yeah.
That's where we've been very vocal, and I'm personally friends with many of our creators and connect with them, adult creators, other creators as well. And, you know, again, that experience was such a learning experience. And looking at our community, we have over 2 million creators. That's over 2 million small businesses on the platform. And that weighs on me. And that's something that I keep in my heart every single day when it comes to doing this job.
Yeah, and I think it's so important to think about creators as small businesses because they are. And I'm a creative person. I'm really passionate about creative people being able to make a living. And whether it's doing adult content, whether it is a race car driver on OnlyFans, which is very cool. There's cooks on OnlyFans. Like, I love creative people getting paid to do what they love. And so what you're saying is in 5 years, somebody who is making adult content on OnlyFans now, they're still going to be able to do that in 5 years.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I think as well, the other thing is like actually when you talk about the creative community as a whole, we look at the way that content is consumed on the internet and the growth of the creator economy. Creators deserve to get paid for what they do, right? Creators who put content out there, whether it's adult content, whether it's writing content, whether it's music, whether it's comedy, they deserve to get paid for the work that they're doing. OnlyFans as a platform, that's what we exist for, that's what we're there for, and that's why we're able to be creator first. So you're absolutely right. That financial inclusion piece is incredibly important for adult content creators, but it should be important for every creator on the internet. And that's when we talk about being an inclusive platform. It's like we want other creators to wake up to the opportunity that the adult content creators went, aha, this is a great business model. Like, I like this platform.
Yeah.
And we would love to see everybody else in the creative community who's over 18 and wants to abide by our terms of service, that they would come and join OnlyFans and monetize their content in that way. That's why we're here, and that's why we love talking to the creative community.
And it's also, we're a platform where we don't categorize creators. There's so many platforms, you have to check this, you have to fill this out, and you decide, you know, I'm this type of creator. On OnlyFans, everyone's over 18, they're empowered to share content that they feel comfortable sharing. So on one day you could share cooking content, the next day you can share fitness content, maybe you're sharing spicy content, whether it's cooking or cooking naked. It could be either, but it's up to, you know, people are multi-hyphenates, you know. Why are we putting creators in whatever category they are typically put in? And it's the same with adult content creators. They have many other interests, many other things that they share on their platform, and that's what OnlyFans allows them to do, as well as with all content creators. So really, it's up to every creator, and what's important is that creators are getting paid for their content. And OnlyFans was truly before its time. It was founded in 2016 when creators were doing brand deals and sponsored posts. Now, creators are able to really take back that control, and that's what's important. And that's what's really meaningful about the platform, is it's giving creators a way to monetize their content, connect with their community.
Yeah, and I think part of why, like, I'm pleasantly surprised that you say that in 5 years, yeah, of course, adult content's going to be on OnlyFans. I think part of why that surprises me is because that wasn't the case before you were CEO. And like a key piece of the timeline here is that you transitioned from CMO to CEO after that happened. And it feels like under your leadership, you have been pretty sex positive and understanding that, yes, this is a huge cut of OnlyFans' revenue, which, speaking of, I don't know if you are willing to share the percentage breakdown of what comes from adult content creators versus what comes from safe for work content creators. But then again, as you just said, you have spicy food and spicy content. They can be at the same place, but
And the same creator. And all monetized. And that's the thing. So how do you break it down? We'd have to look at every single transaction on the platform and assign it to one or the other.
That's part of not categorizing creators, and also we're not collecting data, we're not selling data, there's no ads on the platform. And the reason that other platforms do that is because that's, part of their business model. Where our business model is simple and straightforward, where it's an 80-20 split, all in favor of the creator.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but is there like any idea of like that percentage breakdown, or is it just completely mystical?
Well, I guess the better question is, why is that important to people?
I think it's important to people because I think it makes OnlyFans as a different kind of platform than a Patreon, because there's such a market for adult creators. That's one thing OnlyFans has proved over and over. I mean, the name of this panel was like the internet's oldest industry, because people are going to use the internet for sex no matter what you do. And what I like about OnlyFans is that they're going to do it anyway. Let them do it safely. People deserve to have dignified, safe working conditions, and tech can help that.
And that's where all creators deserve that safety. And that's why safety is the foundation of our business, and it's the heart of everything we do. Because if you look at the way creators are treated elsewhere, they receive all sorts of terrible messages. For example, Chloe Sims, who we're working with, she's a UK reality star who's going to be launching her own reality show along with her family on our streaming platform and app, OFTV. She shared some of the just horrible messages and things that she's received on other platforms, and it's truly heartbreaking, the types of abuse that creators, talent, really anyone who's kind of in the public eye endures. And that's where being able to have a safe place like OnlyFans has allowed her to connect with her community, to share content, and not feel like you're going to get those negative comments, those negative DMs. Everything on her OnlyFans has been very positive, again, because it's her biggest fans who are able to connect with her.
Yeah. It's about accountability as well, fans and creators being accountable for their behavior online, which is important. And being in a position that we're in, and taking the view that we take on content moderation, which is that we review every single thing that gets shared. We review all the direct messages. There's no end-to-end encryption on the platform in that sense. But it's not for the purposes of monetization. It's for the purposes of safety. And that's why our creators and our fans are willing to, they know that we're very transparent, that this is the reason why we do this. And it means that we can keep people safe. It means that if people are abusive on the platform, they're off and they're not coming back on again. They're not able to just set up a new account, set up a new email address, and change their identity overnight and suddenly come back and be horrible to people. That doesn't happen on our platform, and that we think that makes it a very, very unique place on the internet, particularly amongst other social media platforms.
Yeah. And I'm also curious about, so even if your strategy is very much any creator, come here, do whatever you want as long as you're doing it safely. Follow the terms of service.
Yes.
So what would you do if there is legislation that gets passed that makes it harder for adult creators to monetize online, or if there's more stringent guidelines coming from payment processors? Do you have a strategy in place to foresee those kinds of things?
Look, we don't have a crystal ball. We don't know what's going to happen, but what we do know and we can control is what's happening on our platform. That's why we make investments into safety, into content moderation. Again, we know who everyone is on our platform. We see every single thing that's happening. No one's able to send disappearing messages, things like that. OnlyFans is truly a place that is one of the safest spots on the internet for our community. Again, everyone's over 18. These are all adults. We see everything. So that also plays into the safety. And that's also why we launched the Safety and Transparency Center. It allows anyone, third parties, processors, whoever might have a question about what's happening on this platform, to be able to go and see, this is our approach to content moderation. This is our approach to keeping our community safe.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to legislation, we obviously keep an eye out on what's going on, and we make sure we comply with the legislation in all the jurisdictions that we operate in. But it's also about going above and beyond that, right? If we only do what we're forced to do, that's not good enough to protect creators.
Yeah.
I mean, so one of the other things that we've done is we have instituted an independent voluntary monitorship around our safety compliance program. So that's like, if I'm going to mark my homework, I'm going to give myself an A, right? I'm going to be like, I am awesome. I'm doing all the things that are great in terms of safety. We are smashing it out of the ballpark. But actually getting somebody who is external to come in and review your controls, to review your program, to give you feedback about what they're seeing elsewhere in the market, and then for us to change, adapt, evolve, always get better. Those are the things that really set us apart from other platforms in that way. We're not going to sit back and just say, we're going to wait until we're made to do something. So in terms of legislation, it's not something that like we're up at night worrying about, because we feel like we're always pushing the envelope in terms of what's possible and leading our peers, frankly. We've led in terms of age verification. Like if you look at the, a lot of other platforms now and what they're trying to do around age verification, we've led the way in terms of that. We've been getting our creators to provide information to verify their date of birth for a very long time. And now we're just seeing other platforms starting to catch up on that because of the criticism that they faced. And we'll continue to be an industry leader in safety. And Lena, as Amy said, like that's, that was one of the main reasons why I joined. It's one of the main reasons why Amy, asked me to take this role, was because safety is a fundamental part of your vision.
It's the part of the business, and a lot of people are surprised to know this, but we actually reject up to 60% of people who apply to be creators on the platform every month because they're not providing the right information. They're not providing enough information because we are so stringent. And that's something that, that's money left on the table, but that's not a risk we're willing to take as a business.
Yeah, for sure. And so I have to ask, so I think this comes up a lot when we talk about issues with payment processing. Is crypto's a way around that? Have you thought about that at all?
That's not an area we're looking to go down because we need to know who we're paying money out to. Yes. Again, going back to our safety controls.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is good to know, and all the more reason to keep up with all the legislation and credit card companies and everything that they are doing there. And to go back to your transition from CMO to CEO, I was wondering if there's anything that makes OnlyFans a business that is particularly well suited to be led by somebody with a marketing background.
It's another way that we're a disruptor.
Yes.
I was doing a lot behind the scenes with our former CEO before taking on this role. So I had exposure to various different parts of the company. I was doing a lot, I really learned and was able to take a lot of that knowledge and a lot of those lessons and apply them every day into my role. And that's why I really make the effort to connect with our creator community and to talk to people like yourself and everyone here about the platform, because there's just so many misconceptions about OnlyFans when people think, oh, you can just sign up and suddenly see a bunch of spicy content, where no, you cannot, because of all the safety controls we have, and you don't see content unless you subscribe to a creator that's putting out that type of content. So you might see, again, a chef, someone doing spicy content, a boxer. It's truly become such an incredible hub for creators to have this safe space and home, and I'm very proud to be leading the organization as we're kind of going into this new chapter of the business, and with different investments that I've been making. OFTV, for example, which I mentioned earlier, that's our free streaming platform and app, which is available on Apple, Android, smart TVs, and it's been another platform for creators to be able to have a voice, for fans to get to know, oh, who is that? Let me learn a little bit about them before I then go and subscribe to their OnlyFans profile. And it's also a place you get to see the range of content creators that are on OnlyFans. It's only available to OnlyFans creators to submit content to, which of course we moderate because we love to moderate. And it's been a great outlet, and that's where we're doing different investments into original content. And on some of our original content series, you're going to see adult content creators, you're going to see music artists, you're going to see fitness professionals, and they could all be in the same show. For example, we have a cooking show called This Is Fire, and Kazumi, who's a very well-known adult content creator, took a part in the first season. She's going to be on season 2, which we recently were filming. And that's, that's really exciting to put people from so many different backgrounds together in the same place to be able to kind of have a unique experience.
Yeah, and we were listening to some of the talks earlier on, and it's so fascinating to hear the term of financial inclusivity being brought up so often. And it's nice to see the banking community wake up to that. It's nice to see the tech community wake up to that. It's something that we have felt as a business is so important for so long. And one of the reasons why I challenged you about asking the question of why does it matter is because there is such a temptation from people to try and segregate different types of content and to try and treat people who create one kind of content differently from the way they treat other people. And as a platform, that's just something we're not willing to do. And so that's why we apply the same high levels of safety controls to everybody. But it's also why we do things like invest in content for a streaming platform that enables people to see the breadth of actually what people can do across a wide range of genres, and to stop categorizing people, stop labeling people. Like that's the thing. And as a platform, being able to say, hey, we can be safe and inclusive and allow people to monetize and make money off their creative content in their way, in their small business, and help to protect them. Like, that's why we're so proud to kind of come here and come to work. And Amy will never blow her own trumpet about this because she's super modest. But like the way that Amy connects with the creator community is like incredible. She's such a wonderful ambassador for being able to be close to our creators. Like, we both have an OnlyFans account.
Yeah,
like, people are amazed that we use the platform, but we use it and we message creators through it and they message us. And
of course. Yeah, and I think also, part of why I kind of am thinking about this in the sense of adult creators versus safe for work creators is because even if that isn't really a true dichotomy, adult creators are held to a much different standard. And I think that also applies to safety, where, I'm a writer, I get mean messages all the time. That means I'm doing my job, right? But like, it's different, I guess, when you're doing the kind of vulnerable sexual content where like, I don't have to worry about like nudes getting leaked, for example, whereas somebody who's making that kind of content would have to. And the safety standards might be more important to adult creators in that way, even though safety is always hugely important. I am always telling all of my friends to enable two-factor authentication.
Yes,
on
please.
Everything. Everybody enable
that.
two-factor authentication on all of your accounts right now.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. But I think it's that thing of safety. Safety is fundamental. It's like at the heart of what we do, and being a leader in that, and particularly bearing in mind some of the additional risks faced by our creators. But that's also why it's so important for creators to be able to be in control. For creators to be able to block fans if they don't like what a fan is saying. For creators to be able to be in charge of setting their own pricing within certain parameters. For creators to be in charge of when they post content, how they post content, what they do within the confines of our terms of service. Giving people that freedom, but also recognizing that actually there's a ton of adult content on the rest of the internet that has none of these safety controls in place, right? Yeah. So, we would be lying if we said OnlyFans invented the genre. We didn't. As you said, it's the oldest profession. But what we are doing is we are creating a place where people can be alongside other creators, not face stigma in that sense, and also benefit from hugely important safety controls.
Yeah, and one last question. So when we've talked about OFTV and how OnlyFans is really making an investment into making sure that the public knows this isn't just spicy content, you can have spicy food as well. And from like a marketing perspective, since like you were the CMO, I wonder if I feel like sometimes it appears from the outside like OnlyFans is trying to sanitize its image. And I wonder what you think about that, because you could argue, does OnlyFans need to sanitize its image? I don't think so.
OnlyFans has really become part of the cultural zeitgeist, and that's something that's really exciting and cool. And a lot of times the media takes OnlyFans and spins its own narrative with it, and that's something that's not in our control. But what is in our control is how we connect with our creator community, how we provide a safe place for them, and how we provide opportunities for them. And OnlyFans TV is another way that we're able to do that, where creators have a place to share additional content, express who they are. And again, it's just only available for OnlyFans creators. So that's, again, something special that we're able to offer our community. And we are investing into content there. A lot of our original content features OnlyFans creators. All of our content features OnlyFans creators, because it's important that we reflect the community that's been able to, really take off on the platform with over 2 million creators, 220 million users. I feel like we're at just the beginning of what OnlyFans is, and that's really exciting.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's like interesting when the phrase sanitize an image, right? I don't think that's what we're trying to do. And like, it's really interesting because you said, are you willing to make that commitment? And the answer is yes. And we have done many times. And almost every time we speak, we say that we're committed to keeping adult content on the platform. We talk about inclusivity. And there's a real temptation to write a different narrative. And people keep trying to say, but. And it's like, no, that's not what we're doing. We're trying to make it clear to everybody that there is a monetization opportunity available for all creators on OnlyFans. Adult content creators are smart as heck, and they're the ones who realize that first.
But now you have so many other creators in different category genres, however people might want to put them into buckets, realizing, wait, I can monetize my content. It's my fans, they want to see me, they want to see the videos that I'm creating, what I'm putting out there. And that's where we've entered this new period in the creator economy where creators are savvy. They're able to monetize everything that they're doing. And that's where OnlyFans has been able to be a leader.
Yeah. So we just say more inclusivity, not sanitization, inclusivity.
Yes, great note to end on. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.